Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Morgan Peters, and this is my presentation on Internet news for my senior seminar in informatics class. And here we can take a look at my thesis. Now, my thesis statement for the research I conducted is that Internet news can help spread news more efficiently, and it also provides more benefits than traditional news. In recent discussions of the news industry, a controversial issue has been whether Internet news can spread news more efficiently than traditional news. On the one hand, some argue that Internet news can be seen as a scourge that is corrupting the public, and from this perspective, Internet news is seen as a hotspot for fake news. On the other hand, however, others argue that Internet news can help spread news more efficiently. My own view is that Internet news can help spread news more efficiently, and I also believe that Internet news provides more benefits than traditional news. Though I can see that there is a varying amount of credibility among news sources on the Internet, I still maintain that Internet news can generally help to spread news more efficiently. Although some might object that this varying level of credibility among news sources on the Internet is a scourge corrupting the public, I would reply that the credible news sources are notable enough that you will know whether or not your information is accurate. Now, some people see Internet news from a negative perspective for a range of reasons. While conducting research into the news industry, I came upon multiple sources that share this negative perspective of Internet news. I found examples of the distaste and misinformation, such as in the article written by Aviv Obadiah, where Obadiah reports on the threat of fake news and hate speech. Obadiah explains how this scourge is brought to public to such an extent where people do not know which information they can believe. Obadiah even refers to the Internet as, and I quote, an explosive breeding ground for misinformation, taken from Obadiah's article in 2018. I also found examples of the distaste for Internet news because traditional forms of news are just as effective. In an article written by Scott Althos and David Tewksbury, Internet news is emphasized as secondary to traditional news media. In a study of approximately 500 college students, they discovered that the Internet was primarily used for entertainment purposes only, and that news they learned about were through traditional methods. Lastly, I found examples of distaste for the varying levels of credibility among sources on the Internet. In an article written by authors Ann Oldorf Hirsch, Mike Scherbach, Alyssa Appleman, and Michael P. Boyle, they explained the details of an experiment that tested the effect of fact-checking labels by source on credibility, virality, and information seeking of news that is posted on social media. The authors concluded that fact-checking labels do not increase credibility of an Internet news article, but they do help to increase the trust of the site in general, which means that it is not a futile effort and can help to change credibility on the Internet, bringing us to the opposite end of the spectrum. Now, while there are those that see Internet news from a negative perspective, there are also those who see Internet news from a positive perspective, and I am of the same mind as these hopeful thinkers. While conducting research into the news industry, I came upon multiple sources that share this positive perspective of Internet news. There are those who have noticed a shift from traditional news to Internet news due to the evolution of technology. An example of this can be seen in an article detailing political news coverage over the years. The author explains this shift by emphasizing Anne Marie Cox's shift from blogger to reporter due to the ever-increasing prevalence of the Internet within the news industry. Others are seeing this shift due to the fact that Internet news can be accessed at any time and anywhere as long as you have an Internet connection. According to an article by Paul Rappaport, this fact helped increase traffic flow for Internet news after the incident of 9/11, because it was such a significant event that people wanted to learn as much about it as they could, as quickly as possible. Lastly, Internet news has the potential to offer benefits that traditional news never could. According to an article written by Shannon Fass, Louis Kim, Emily Cohn, Sumiko Makaru, John Brownstein, and Natasha Marcuzone, this article details the use of Internet news articles by a system that was designed to identify and predict social responses to infectious diseases. The system can be used to develop more technology using Internet news to create predictive models that can be used to save people's lives, a possibility never before imagined while using traditional forms of news. Now, in conclusion, while the credibility of the information presented in news articles online is questionable, and misinformation is rampant, there are ways to remedy these issues. These issues, though, do not overshadow my thesis that Internet news can help spread news more efficiently, while also providing more benefits than traditional news. Internet news can reach a greater audience and can be used to help more people than traditional forms of media. This information is important because the Internet is growing every day, giving more and more people access to its resources. It is important that you know where to get credible information among these sources and how to sift through the true and false information that you're presented with. This was the source I directly quoted, along with the other research I conducted during my studies.